Okay, so I'm back collective for part two to the last video. So in the last video, I had to choose my words wisely. Okay, I know people get really sensitive on certain topics, especially religion. Okay, now I was trying to go somewhere with it, but these videos can only be 10 minutes long, right? So we're in the age of Aquarius, we're in this new space. And over the last couple days, me, watching Queen Cup's video about her, dissecting the religion and, all of that, and me actually having conversations with friends based around religion and faith, it got me thinking, right? Because if you don't already know, the Bible is actually based off astrology. Okay, it actually, it teaches you, it was written in a certain age, and teaching you how to live and survive in another age, in the next age ahead. And so, and this is something that I read about a long time ago when I first came into my awakening, and it totally makes sense. And this is before we had even come into the age of Aquarius. This was years before, we were just transitioning into that space. But this was my idea earlier this week, was that the earlier books of the Bible were actually created in the age of Aries. Now, when we're dealing with ages, you go backwards, okay? Even though the astrological wheel goes from Aries to Pisces, when we're dealing with ages, it goes backwards, okay? And I can't remember how long ages are, a few thousand years, whatever the case. But the earlier mentions of the Bible, like especially a lot of the books, especially Enoch, right? A lot of those books that were removed were, written in the age of Aries. And for you to have a better understanding, we'll say in a general term, the First Testament was written in the age of Aries to teach you how to live in the age of Pisces. Okay? The Second Testament was written in the age of Pisces to teach you how to live in the age of Aquarius, which is why at the end of the Second Testament, they have the book of Revelations, and it talks about the end times. The end times is the end of an era and coming into a new one. So it's not Armageddon, and it's not anything that is going to make the world fall apart and, you know, asteroids hitting the earth, and nothing like that. Nothing catastrophic like that. If anything, what we are experiencing is on a profound level, especially for the simple fact that on a much deeper spiritual level, we chose to incarnate during this time, okay? Which makes it even deeper. But the Second Testament, because it was written in the age of Pisces to teach you how to live in the age of Aquarius, it was kind of like a guideline or a guidebook to show you how to live a particular way, right? And so I don't want to get into the concept of Jesus, okay? Because a lot of people have their own opinion about it, which is totally fine. And if from my personal opinion, I know Jesus existed. However, some of the stories in the Bible may not be correct. They may not be true. They might be obscured or over exaggerated and glamorized, whatever the case. But we know indefinitely that there was an individual who came to wake up the collective. Whether Jesus was his name or not, we know it was a particular individual. Now, this individual did not come to this realm to be a deified God. Okay? He came to this realm to teach people how to awaken to Christ consciousness. Now that we are in the age of Aquarius, people are awakening and changing and shifting their conscious into Christ consciousness. Okay? This is allowing you to merge with source and have a better understanding of your path, your life path, and how to grow and evolve and transcend. Okay? And so what I want to get to is in this new space, because I keep saying how unfamiliar it is, regardless if you were in a religion, pulled away from it, whatever the case, in this new space and this new timeline that we're coming into, you're going to have to create something that works for you, because the last testament was written in the age of Pisces to teach you how to live in the age of Aquarius. Now we're in the age of Aquarius, and there is no guidebook to teach the collective how to live in the age of Capricorn, which will be thousands of years from now. And so that's why the collective, I got chills so heavy. This is why the collective is, the fact that we chose to incarnate during this time is super important, because a lot of people are awakening to certain things, and things in their DNA is that was dormant is becoming active, and it's coming online. And a lot of that activation is ancestral memory, especially mitochondrial DNA, which is MTMA DNA, however you want to say it, right? Because I know other people say it different. But that matriarch memory is going to make you go back to the original thing, whether that's following your roots, going back to your ancient traditions. I'm Filipino. My ancestors like me to go back to pre-colonial tradition, pre-colonial practices, pre-colonial ideals, right? And so, especially if you're of a certain background or nationality, you might have been raised in a particular type of, tradition or religion just based on where your family is from and how you do things. And so, and now that we're in this age of Aquarius, in this new space, the collective is being called to transform your faith and transform something to help the collective thousands of years from now, how they can transform their faith and move into something, because Capricorn is about stability. It's about solidifying you being grounded in this physical realm. Okay. And so now I feel like the collective's job is to figure out what works best so that we can document that and teach the collective after us in this new age that it's okay for you to have an open mind. It's okay for you to not be, tied down to institutions and conform to certain things that, it doesn't feel right in your soul. Okay? So one more time, I'm not judging, and I'm not being negative, and I'm not disrespecting anybody's faith. I'm just reminding you that in this new phase, in this new era, this new timeline, we have to change it and create something different. And the creating the something different can also be merging all of those things into one understanding. That's unification. That's unity. That's coming back to one point of singularity, right? That's ultimate unification, merging back with source. So in this new timeline, and this is just a what if, right? What if all religions came together and we actually seen the bigger picture and moved towards it, which is merging with source? No matter what you believe, what your opinion is, okay? And that's why I was saying in the first video that I feel like a lot of these things are becoming questionable around Pisces season, because it was only a few weeks ago, and Pisces season has a lot to do with religion. But Pisces season also is directly related to the last age that the Bible was written for the Second Testament, as it was written in the age of Pisces to teach us how to live in the age of Aquarius. And so as we closed out Pisces season this year, we also came into a new energetic year with Aries. We also came into a new energetic year with the Chinese New Year and coming into the Fire Horse year. So now that kind of closed everything out for us as we're moving forward and gaining, all this progress forward motion. And I'm just allowing you to be open-minded and to think outside of the box and to open your perspective up to something new, because that's exactly what this journey is trying to teach you. Okay? So please don't come for me. Okay? I'm just trying to open your mind up to a different way of thinking, and for you to be able to use your discernment and intuition, for you to make and create something that works good for you, something that works for you, something you can follow, and maybe teach your family and your children how to also do the same for them.